Hello everybody. In this video today we are going to talk about the financial capacity requirements for a student visa to Australia. Now, as you all know that there have been some recent changes regarding the financial capacity requirement, but in this video today we are only going to talk about the new and current requirements for the financial capacity for student visas. Now, please note that you only need to provide financial evidence for the first 12 months of your stay in Australia. Even though your course is for maybe 2 or 3 years, you only have to provide financial capacity for the 12 months. And if your course is only for 10 months, then you only have to provide financial capacity for the 10 months. Now, as per the department's requirements, all students need to provide financial evidence for the first 12 months of the living expenses. So if you are a primary applicant and single and you're coming here to study, so you will have to provide living expenses of $21,041. If you also have a spouse with you who's coming with you in Australia as a dependent student visa, then you will have to provide living expenses of $7,362. If you have a child as well who will be accompanying you on your student visa, then you will have to provide living expenses of $3,152 for your child. If your child is over 5 years of age, and that is considered as a school-going age, and you will have to also provide funds for the tuition fees of 12 months, which are calculated as $8,296. Apart from showing the living expenses, you will also have to show the tuition fee of 12 months. So if you have a tuition fee with your university of $30,000 a year, then you will have to provide financial evidence of $30,000. In a case where you have already paid for your COE for 6 months, you have paid $15,000, then you only have to provide the financial evidence of $15,000 as long as you attach the invoice that you have paid $15,000 of your tuition fees. The other thing you will also have to provide is the financial capacity for the traveling expense. So if you're applying from overseas, then you may want to add a return ticket for each member. And if you're applying the student visa onshore here in Australia, then add another one-way ticket going to your home country. So to actually explain you further, what I've done is I've got some examples here. So we will go through those examples so that you can actually calculate your financial evidence yourself. Just be very careful when you calculate your financial evidence, because in most cases, if you don't meet the financial capacity, the case officer may not ask you for further evidence or may not give you the opportunity to provide that evidence and may just go ahead and refuse your visa. So that's why it's very important that you understand this, especially if you're launching your student visa yourself. So in my example one, I have got a single applicant who is coming here to do maybe a master's, and their course fees is $30,000, but they have already paid $15,000 for their COEs, and they have an invoice as a proof of payment. So for the living expenses for the single applicant are going to be $21,041. The tuition fees that they will still have to provide to the university later on is $15,000. The traveling expense, I have put $2,000 roughly for their return ticket. And so the total funds that they will have to provide are $38,041. So I've got another example here where a family is coming, husband, wife, and the child. Say wife is the primary applicant who's coming here to study a bachelor's degree, and again have already paid maybe $15,000 for their COE, and they have got another $15,000 to be paid after 6 months, and the $30,000 is the 12 months fee. So for the primary applicant, the living expenses are $21,041. For the spouse, it's $7,362. For the child, it's $3,152. And on top of that, because the child that they have is over 5 years, they will also have to provide evidence of funds of school fees, which is $8,296. So the total they have got is $54,851. I would also add another maybe $3,000 for their traveling expenses as well, to make it around $57,000. And in the example 3, I've got somebody who's already here in Australia. They have finished most of the course and they have only got 1 semester left. So, but they've already paid the fees of the last semester as well, and their visa is about to expire and they only need extension for the further 6 months. So in that case, in most cases, department does give you 2 months extra on top of your COE end date. So in this case, I have calculated the living expenses for this single applicant as about $14,000 for 8 months. Traveling expenses, I have put $1,000. I have not added any tuition fee because he's already paid it and he's already got the invoice that he can attach. So the total, it comes out around $15,027. Now these funds can be in the form of education loan, or it could be in the savings bank account of your immediate family members who can provide evidence of that and, you know, provide a sponsorship letter as well. The other way you can demonstrate financial capacity is if your personal income, your parents' personal income, or your spouse or your husband's, your de facto partner's personal income is about $62,222. Then in that case, you also meet the financial capacity requirement in case of a single applicant. But if you have a secondary applicant as well with you, then the personal income needs to be $72,592. So I hope this information was helpful. If you need any further clarification, or if you are looking for somebody to lodge your student visa application, please get in touch with us.
Thank you for watching Sirus Migration. We make new videos every week relating to Australian migration. If you are interested in this topic, you may want to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button down below. You may also want to click on the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos.